Magic Words. Book by Tim David. Chapter 5. The Magic of Using People's Names and the Word If. Why is it that when you're in a noisy room, you can pick out the sound of your name, just like that? You could hardly hear the person next to you, and suddenly your attention was elsewhere. That's because we are biologically programmed to pay attention to the sound of our names. Using a person's name is an important magic word that can help you build trust and a connection with others. People place importance on their names, and for good reason. Names are a part of our identity, and so people feel highly valued when they hear their name, or even a word that is similar. This is called the name-letter effect, where people tend to prefer the letters in their name over any other letter in the alphabet. For instance, research proves that people named Kathy prefer Coke to Pepsi, and people named Peter prefer Pepsi. Additionally, the number of women named Georgia is 88% higher in Georgia than in any other state. If this doesn't prove the power of names, I don't know what else does. Using names is powerful, so it's important to use them wisely. First, people often leave jobs when they feel underappreciated or not valued. It's important to see your employees as people and not numbers. To help with this, learn names quickly and identify introverts. Call on introverts by name to get their input. Perhaps even send them a direct email instead of asking their opinion in front of their peers. It's important to work with people one-on-one at times to make them feel appreciated and valued. Additionally, you can use names to defuse an escalating situation. If a person begins to go off the rails, you can bring them back down to earth simply by saying their name. It will both calm them as well as bring their attention back to you. So, remember names. Listen to it once and say it back twice. Make active visual aids to remind you. Tim David argues, for all the value that using someone's name brings to the table, you can really blow it big time by forgetting their name. The next magic word, if, forces people to think hypothetically and has many powerful abilities to help foster motivation and engagement. One of the powers of if is that it has the power to combat reverse psychology. As mentioned in the magic of, because people are more likely to make a decision that is their own, people don't want to be influenced. This can be further proven with the magic of if, when Matthew T. Crawford and his colleagues once asked participants to gamble on one of two equally skilled football teams. If one of the researchers suggested betting on a particular team, the participant would bet on the other team 76.5% of the time, simply because they wanted to exert their free will. Additionally, when the researchers said statements like, "If you don't bet on them, think how you'll feel when they win," then 73% of participants took their advice. You can also use the power of if to combat people whose response is frequently, "I don't know," or "I can't do this." You can use if to guide their thoughts in a certain direction. When someone tells you, "I don't know," you can simply respond with, "What would you say if you didn't know?" This forces them to direct their thoughts to what they do know, which will likely lead them to the answer you are seeking. Additionally, when a person says, "I can't," you shouldn't simply just respond with, "Yes, you can." This response negates the person's feelings. Instead, you should say something like, "I know you feel like you can't. But what would happen if you did?" Start by agreeing with them, use the but eraser, and finally, use the magic word, if, to redirect their thoughts.